After a long day of traveling, we finally made it to Vancouver. So our apartment is 12 stories up, and we have all of these sky-rise buildings all around us. But what's really cool is the roofs of other buildings have grass areas. That one has its pool up there. But look at all these buildings with all these gardens and grassy areas and stuff. I hear that it's a city ordinance. I think that within every city block there needs to be so much green. So therefore they put these things on their roof. But even just other things like their pools. Like, why not use your roof when you don't have a yard? So we've made it to Vancouver, and now we're gonna go check out a few things. We are going to go to the library and check out some scenes there. So that'll be kind of neat. So we're gonna check out the library today here in Vancouver, and that is because, like I said, they have to have so much trees and greenery in a city block. So the library has some cool spots along that have trees and sitting areas, and but also it's decently high, so you can kind of see out and see more roofs from other buildings. So we heard that it was kind of a cool place to check out, so we're gonna check it out today. This is kind of interesting. We're inside, but the ground here is very much the outside. But there's skylights.
This side of the
Okay, so that's the library
right,
over
the
there.
entrance is over there.
Oh, okay. So what's this over here?
These are all the different stores and banks. Yeah, okay.
So that's cool. So there's a lot of little shops here, and then there's the actual library over there. But you feel like you're outside because of this ground, and then you have the skylights up there. So it kind of gives you that sense. We are on top of the library right now. There is a garden up here. This is so neat. We have chairs and benches, so you can sit here, look out at the city. There's even stuff even higher up. I really enjoyed all the architecture here. The buildings just had a lot of fascinating designs and things. It wasn't just square buildings. So here we are on Water Street in Gastown. So this steam clock is pretty cool. It's one of those touristy places. So we're hoping to catch the steam going off. The city of Vancouver used to use a steam system to heat the city. This clock is actually covering the steam grate right there, and it chimes every 15 minutes. It is one of the few still working in the world. So next we went to Stanley Park, and something that we did in Stanley Park is we took the carriage ride. Now, the carriage ride is really nice. It's horse-drawn. You get to see a few things. You don't get to go to the whole park, but you get to see like the rose garden and the totem poles and a few other things. And there's narration along. So I really enjoyed that. It was a really nice day for being on a horse-drawn carriage, really. There are other options if you want to see more of the park. There are other tours that will take you around the entire thing. You can also rent bikes or scooters. There's a really nice walking path that goes the entire seawall, which is just kind of the perimeter. So there's a lot of options. We did this particular option because we were very limited on time. If you want to really see a lot of Stanley Park and you don't have a lot of time, I would really recommend doing something that gives you wheels, essentially. Rent a scooter, rent a bike, do one of the tours. This particular tour, I think, was 50 minutes maybe. I don't think it was quite an hour. So it wasn't a huge amount of time, but you did get to see some key areas there in the park. And so that was a really nice thing to do that would give us a little bit of Stanley Park in a short amount of time. There are many options when it comes to trying to get around the city. We did a little bit of walking, and really it wasn't too bad to walk around the city and do things. However, something we also did is we went ahead and got a day pass on Vancouver's metro system. What was neat about that is it didn't just cover the metro. You could ride the bus, and you could ride what they called the sea bus, which is kind of like a ferry that takes you over to the island. This really ended up being a really nice thing because you could get around a little bit faster. It's about $8 US, I think, if I remember correctly, to get the day pass. There's an option to have a physical card, and so that's a little bit more expensive, closer to 15, maybe 17, I can't remember exactly. But there's also the option to get a paper pass, and that's actually quite a bit cheaper. So it worked out to about $8 US. So, and the paper one is kind of like a cardstock kind of paper. So it's a little bit it's not just a piece of paper. So it worked out really well. You just scan it and go. But it was really neat that you could use it on the bus and the C bus. And so it gave you quite a bit of options to do stuff. And that's a really reasonable price for touring the whole city and being able to go here and there. So that I would highly recommend if you go to Vancouver to do. From our balcony at night, all of the buildings lit up. That one is cool because it's circled. It's rounded and angled because the lights. Stay tuned for my next video, because in the next video we get on the cruise ship.